This is When Minutes Matter, a WLWT severe weather special. Here is Chief Meteorologist Kevin Robinson reporting from Mayfield, Kentucky.
4 months ago, this city where I stand, Mayfield, Kentucky, was changed forever. Good evening, I'm Kevin Robinson. This town of 10,000 people was one of the hardest hit by that December tornado. An EF4 that was on the ground for 165 miles, traveling through 10 different counties in Tennessee and Kentucky. And that was only one of more than 60 tornadoes that touched down that night. Overall, the storms that night killed at least 88 people and caused $3.9 billion in damage. So today we take a look at this historic storm, how we can protect ourselves and learn from this tornado, and take a look at what the future holds for Mayfield. We all know that severe weather can happen any time of the year, any day of the year. But it takes a rare, special set of ingredients to produce such a violent and deadly tornado, like the one that ripped through here in Mayfield, Kentucky. It takes unusually warm air working its way unusually far north for this time of the year, and a very powerful storm system, all to get the air spinning to produce what we call these classic supercells that then go on to produce long-track tornadoes, like the one that ripped through Mayfield. We were watching this storm when it produced its first tornado hours before reaching Mayfield in Arkansas, and then it crossed the Mississippi River into western Tennessee, and then into western Kentucky. There have been some big tornadoes down to the south and west of Louisville in the direction of Paducah, where it reached its peak intensity. You can only cringe looking at the radar signature as that storm made its approach into Mayfield, Kentucky. You knew something bad was going to happen. Again, it takes a rare set of special ingredients to produce storms capable of putting down tornadoes that can track for miles and stay on the ground for hours with that level of violence. Coming up later in our special, we spoke to the people here in Mayfield about what they think the future holds for this historic city. Many of our WLWT News 5 team members have ties to Western Kentucky, including photojournalist Angela Johnson. She's from here and still has family living here in Mayfield. Her and meteorologist Allison Rogers were one of the first crews on the scene after the tornado hit.
As we were rolling in, I remember just getting to the top of the hill and seeing all the damage laid out in front of us, and my jaw dropped when we got there.
State leaders say an historic tornado traveled across 4 states and left a path of destruction. The hardest hit, Mayfield, Kentucky, where much of the city is in shambles, and the governor says dozens of people were killed.
We were there within the first 48 hours of this event happening. For so many of these people who lived there, this is still such a fresh thing that they're going through and trying to process.
When I drove into town with Allison, you know, we were in a hurry and focused on kind of our assignment.
The devastation across western Kentucky is surreal, especially here in Mayfield.
Knowing what it's supposed to look like and seeing what had happened, it was shock, really. My name is Angela Johnson. I've been a photographer at WLWT for almost 24 years. I was born and raised on a farm just outside of Mayfield, Kentucky. My mom, who is 86 years old, still lives in Mayfield. I called her to make sure she had heard the warning. And she, you know, as typical parents are, they're like, oh yeah, whatever. You know, whatever, I think the storm's passing. And it's like, no, it's not. You need to seek shelter now. Just to give you perspective, my mom lives 3 miles away from the candle factory that was completely devastated.
I remember just walking around and I kept thinking, oh my God, it goes on for another street. And again, this is damage that I've seen with hurricanes, but me personally, to see that with a tornado, I was kind of in shock.
It was complete devastation. It was just house after house after house for miles that were just literally blown away.
Anybody here? Anybody need help?
It was pretty remarkable, the reaction from the local community, but also the extended community throughout the state and region.
I just came down here trying to feed the people.
You can tell that it was just such a close community of people. Everybody took care of everybody.
Since 8:45, it's just been a steady stream of cars, just one after another.
I ran into the Beechwood High School coach recently, and I just wanted to tell him thank you for being a part of the drive that they had for supplies. They have a rivalry with the football team in Mayfield, and they play each other. It's always them in the title game. So the fact that that show of sportsmanship and humanity was pretty amazing. In fact, talking to him, I kind of teared up, and I'm going to tear up a little bit now because it's amazing.
At the end of the day, we're all humans and we all want to take care of each other and we all want to help one another. And they were hurting, and so Cincinnati just lent that helping hand that they knew they could give.
Still ahead in our Minutes Matter special, we'll take a look at this storm and find out what made it so historic. We'll also show the importance of a severe weather plan in the workplace and the lessons learned from this tornado. Welcome back. We're here in downtown Mayfield, and while rebuilding has begun, there's still a long ways to go 4 months later, after the tornado blew through. Meteorologist Randy Rico takes a look at how that tornado also blew itself right into history.
The December 10th tornadoes impacted areas from Arkansas to western Kentucky. Now, that's not typical at any point in the year. It's unprecedented for December. The day it hit, we knew it would be historic. So let's take a look at where it fits in the record books. Now, 2 of the long track tornadoes were actually spawned by a single rotating storm that crossed 5 states and 300 miles. The EF4 tornado that hit Mayfield had a track spanning 166 miles, 163 of those in Kentucky. That's like driving from Cincinnati straight to the Tennessee state line. It now goes down in the records books as the longest track tornado in Kentucky history. The prior record was 79 miles. That was in the super outbreak, April 3rd, 1974, another date that will live forever in the minds of those who lived through it. It is now the longest nationwide since 1975, the longest in December, and among the top 10 of the longest track tornadoes on record. So that's where the storm stands in the record books. But the true impact can't be put nice and neatly into numbers and data. It's measured in the lives of those that remain. Kevin has more about the local efforts to help them rebuild and move forward. Kevin?
From the moment the sun came up on December 11th, we've seen an enormous amount of support for the victims of Mayfield and other communities impacted. People from Ohio, Indiana, even across the country flocked to Western Kentucky to provide water and supplies. People also brought truckloads of pet food and toys so kids in Western Kentucky could still have Christmas presents.
For us as a family, again, just being able to give back just means so much to us, especially during Christmas. And that really is what the spirit of Christmas is about, is being able to give back to others.
FEMA says it has approved more than $49.1 million so far in federal assistance. And Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear launched the Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund. If you still want to help, we have a link to that fundraiser on WLWT.com. Cincinnatians were so quick to help their neighbors. That's, of course, because we are no stranger to devastation ourselves. We just recently marked the 10-year anniversary of the single deadliest day of severe weather in Cincinnati history. 11 people were killed on March 2nd, 2012, including the father of a man who spoke to Molly Lair on the anniversary of that somber day.
On this day every year for the past 10 years, Sean Atkins visits his father's grave with family.
We go to the Felicity Cemetery and sit there with him from the time that the tornado would have happened approximately until the time he was pronounced deceased, which was around 6 o'clock.
His dad, Bill, was killed March 2nd, 2012, when an EF3 tornado shredded his mobile home. Bill had been inside taking a nap when it hit.
His was the only home on that street that was completely destroyed.
Sean took this video the morning after, showing the devastation of what used to be his father's home. And though a decade has passed, on this day, time stands still.
I feel like it was just yesterday that all this took place, and just 10 years goes by so fast, especially the older you get, right?
Atkins' father was one of 11 people killed in the tornado outbreak. Now he listens more closely to warnings and checks in on those he loves.
Now I reach out and just say, is everybody okay? Are you prepared for this?
Atkins says he has mixed feelings in the days leading up to March 2nd, a reminder of the phone call relaying his dad's fate, but also a time to share memories of a man with a warm laugh.
It's a day full of emotion. There's happiness, there's laughter, but there's also that sadness and that dread of remembering back how tragic it was.
This decade marking reflection and restoration.
It's 10 whole years that people have had a chance to rebuild, hopefully. Some may never quite recover from something like that, and I guess in some ways we never really will either, because we don't have our dad here.
Here in Mayfield, not only were homes and neighborhoods completely leveled, but some of the scariest moments happened while people were at work. WLWT News 5's meteorologist Katie Donovan reports on why it has some businesses reevaluating their weather emergency alert plans.
The tornado outbreak of December 10th and 11th was devastating for individuals, families, and the Midwest. Some of those impacted were businesses and employees working inside. Two of those businesses were the Mayfield Candle Factory and the Edwardsville, Illinois Amazon Factory. Between the two, 15 workers lost their lives. The workers in both warehouses were unable to leave and find safety. While there's still information to be found with these events, it was a good reminder for everyone, including business owners, to have a storm plan in place.
My experience in 22 years is businesses have a lot going on. I mean, they're fighting for survival every single day. So I think that in general, everybody could do better to be prepared.
We spoke to Nick Crossley, director of the Hamilton County EMA and Homeland Security, who said there's a few things business owners should do.
So the first thing you can do is be aware. It's virtually impossible not to know severe weather is coming to Hamilton County with all the media coverage and everything else. So the first part is to be aware. The second part is to make sure you can receive information effectively.
There are several ways you can receive that information. The WLWT News and Weather app will send warnings straight to your phone. If you live in Greater Cincinnati, you can also sign up for severe weather notifications from Alert Hamilton County. Worried about too many notification pings?
The only time we send out emergency messages is when something is greatly impacting the public.
Crossley says to make sure those emergency alerts are set to on in your notification settings too. Many businesses involved in the December 2021 severe weather event suffered severe damage. Before severe weather strikes, Crossley said that whether renting or owning, you need to evaluate your business insurance with an agent and make sure you're covered.
At the end of the day, we may or may not get a federal declaration. There's lots of funding available for government to recover, especially their physical environment, the roads, the bridges, things like that. There's limited funding available, and then there's disaster loans available for small businesses and individuals.
Making a plan for your business and employees is free and can be as simple as creating a one-page document. Just make sure you put the plan to practice.
If you're fortunate enough to have stable employment and your employees don't change over very much, then you should at least practice once a year, say in January, so you get ready for severe weather season, and then have it as part of your employee orientation.
When severe weather does strike, employees need to be ready to go to their safe place. The best thing to do is to stay away from glass windows like these. They can easily break with any kind of high winds or flying debris. The best thing to do is look for a room in your workspace, like a basement or an interior room like this bathroom.
You can't stop the storm, but taking that extra time to prepare yourself, your business, and your employees will help to prevent tragedy. Katie Donovan, WLWT News 5.
Coming up next, we'll talk about Mayfield after recovery. The long-term impact a severe weather event can have on a town and what the future may hold for Mayfield. Welcome back. After a natural disaster, like a hurricane or a tornado, as big as the one Mayfield faced, of course the immediate concern is the health and safety of the community. But many cities face a mass exodus of people that move on to rebuild and never look back. I spoke with residents of Mayfield on what they're trying to do to protect their history.
I said, my ear just popped. So we moved into the interior part of the basement because at that point we knew there was something coming.
This is Jan Jones recounting the night the tornado destroyed the Mayfield Art Guild Cultural Arts Center.
Gone with the wind. We've lost basically everything. It was a place for people to gather. We have art shows, different types of art shows, like religious art shows, impression, just major money can be awarded to people who win the shows. People from all over the region bring in their art. That's a shame. That was beautiful. It just breaks your heart.
Recovery has been anything but fast for people in this community. And right now, for many, it's hard to focus on the future when they just try to make it through the day-to-day.
This is left. It's broken, but it's left.
But unlike the pieces of art the tornado stole, Jan says she is not broken.
I'm alive. There are other people that didn't make it. It's hard to drive through here. Every time I think I'm okay driving through, I'm not really okay. So it's been very, very difficult.
But she has a message about the spirit of Mayfield.
I don't know what's going on in the future, but many, many people here have hope that we're going to come back, we're going to be successful, and things are going to be back to normal, but it is going to take quite some time for that to happen.
This was my house. This is where we was at.
Also lost in the tornado, homes filled with memories.
Oh, look, we're right here. Well, we might have been right there, son.
We were. This is where the house was.
Courtney lost almost everything in the tornado. She and her kids were in their home when it was ripped from the ground. Her husband was able to escape from the rubble of the candle factory.
I want them to be okay. I also want them to know whatever happens, it's only God. You know what I'm saying? When the storm comes, it's always like, you know, the joy come in the morning. Troubles don't last always. You know, you always got to look at it like it. God does things for reasons. We don't know why.
Fortunately, their family is now in a new home and looking forward to the future.
So what's next? Move into a new house will be this house right here, and we just start over. We rebuild, slowly but surely.
As we all know, it's not just Western Kentucky facing extreme weather. It's our weather team's top priority to prepare and protect you when that extreme weather hits. That's why our parent company, Hearst Television, is launching a new initiative called Forecasting Our Future. This will include special programming focused on weather events, changing weather patterns, and what that all means for our communities and economies in the years ahead. You may have already seen some stories from Forecasting Our Future with our national correspondents Jeff Rawson and Mark Albert. And we have more local and national content on the way. Join us for our Earth Day special on April 23rd at 8 p.m. for a deep dive into forecasting our future. We have a whole section dedicated to this as well on WLWT.com. And remember, you can stay up to date by signing up for our severe weather alerts. Download the WLWT News 5 app and click on Navigation and choose Customize Alerts. Next, click on Severe Weather. From there, you can customize what kind of weather alerts you want to receive. Thank you for joining us. Severe weather is unpredictable, but it's important that you have the tools at hand and a plan in place when minutes matter. For the WLWT News 5 Weather Team, I'm Kevin Robinson.